An award ceremony today returned a Korean War vet's Purple Heart that has been missing for decades. Kane Fairbaugh was at the Capitol today during the ceremony, and he has this report.
Charles Jarvis would spend hours telling his family about his time as a prisoner of war in Korea, how he took a bullet, narrowly escaped death, went hungry for months, and finally lived through a prisoner of war camp to see another day.
It was always the stories, but you never, I don't think, would ever understand the trauma, because I think it stayed with him for the rest of his life.
He just openly took it more lightly, but inwardly and mentally it took its toll over the years on him.
When Private First Class Charles Jarvis returned from Korea in the early 1950s, he had a handful of stories and a chest full of medals. He passed on those stories to his children before he died, but his wife noticed that something was missing, and that something was his Purple Heart, the symbol of so much pain and sacrifice all those years in Korea. So to help preserve her husband's memory, she called on the help of then U.S. Congressman Bob Wise. Mrs. Jarvis wanted to make sure that generations to come would remember her husband's sacrifices, and Wise used the powers of his office to give back to the family what he had already paid for in blood.
Disturb not the ancient landmarks thy fathers have set. Here is something that this family, for posterity, is always going to know the sacrifice that their ancestor did for their country and for them.
In a ceremony in the governor's office, the family finally received Charles Jarvis's long-lost Purple Heart.
I'm so sorry he couldn't be here. He needed to see this.
In Charleston, Kane Fairbaugh, 13 News.
Now, Charles Jarvis died in 1995 from cancer, and his family's crusade to get his Purple Heart began shortly afterward. Very nice story. Stay with us. The area's only 90 minutes of news continues. 13 News at 6 is next.